Hello, my name is Jordan Arel, joining you today from Godric's Hollow, Berkeley, California, on this 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. And this is a little bit something new I'm doing today. So I've done this privately over a long time, actually, I don't know, 5 years or something. I think today would be episode like 247, something like that. Episode, I say. This is just me. I've been journaling. I've been calling it video blog journaling or Vlournaling for sure. It's kind of like vlogging, which is video blogging, except it's a journal. So it's actually really video blog journaling, except it's not really blogging. So it's more like whatever without the. Anyways, but now it is video blog journaling because I'm actually blogging at the same time by posting this publicly. So this is new for me, and wish me luck because I'm a little bit nervous but excited. I feel like sharing this publicly has some extra benefits. I mean, it's nice to just journal and like get my thoughts out and talk about my life a bit. I like doing that, but I think having public visibility raises the value of it quite a bit because then other people can also see what's going on in my life and my thoughts and what I see as important right now. And I think there's a lot to be gained from that. So, to start out with today, I wanted to mention the Better Futures Fellowship hosted by AI Safety Collab, which is a project within the European Network for AI Safety. I hadn't heard of this organization before, but it looks like they've done some other AI safety type stuff. And they're hosting a course based on William McCaskill and Finn Morehouse's Better Futures series within Forethought. And so this is really exciting because this is a series that I really, really support. It's something that was very similar to my own research on, I previously called it optimal reflection. You can see this on my EA forum or on my website, jordanarel.com. I think I have it there somewhere. Anyways, optimal reflection is what I was previously calling it, now deep reflection, but I haven't posted the updated essay yet. It's actually about a year ago now that I posted the original version. I sharply deprioritized it because it ended up being so similar in its conclusions to Will McCaskill's Better Future series, and even in the construction of the series itself that I was writing, it was more like a single essay, but it was so long I was probably gonna have to end up splitting it into a series, and I probably still will publish it. But anyways, so this new fellowship is very similar to the work that I had done. And I had in fact been actually planning to launch a fellowship myself, and still may do so. Although this is really exciting because I had hoped to eventually offload the fellowship that I wanted to launch to someone else, but now it looks like someone else is already doing it, which is actually kind of nice in a way. So I don't know if mine is quite different enough or distinct enough. It's very similar in what it's focused on, which is essentially how to make the long-term future as good as possible. There's a lot of work that's been done on AI safety and making sure that we have a future at all, essentially, survival. How do we make sure that AI doesn't take over or in some other way like damage humanity's long-term potential? But now it's like there's kind of this other stream of thought that's been arising more recently that's like, okay, well, AI safety has been actually like at least moderately successful. There's about 1,000 people in the movement. There's and AI safety is a major force within pretty much all of the major labs. And so, it looks like AI safety may in fact succeed. And then it's like, okay, well, after we have AGI, we have artificial general intelligence or some powerful AI, then what happens next? And it's like, wow, it could be pretty crazy because if we have AI that's more powerful than, significantly more powerful than any human in its intelligence, due to an intelligence explosion, then that could really radically change the future and kind of cause a lot of domino effect of a lot more technologies to also be developed. So, this is kind of focused on shifting the trajectory toward better futures, toward flourishing futures, toward futures that are good, and making sure that we don't just have a future, but that we have like as good a future as we can get. And I'm really excited about this course. I did. I will admit, when I first heard about it, I was kind of like, ah, shit. Like I've been planning to do this for the past few months now, and I haven't really done as much work on it as I liked. I've done some work on it, but it looks like they're a bit ahead of me. So we'll probably launch before I would launch. And it's like now I don't know if the work I've been doing actually makes sense to continue or not. I'll have to reach out to them and talk with them and see what makes the most sense, to better understand exactly what they're doing. But this made me reorient a bit, and that's partly why I actually started doing this. And I'm kind of like thinking like, I feel like I've, I could have done this earlier. I actually had this idea last year, like over 6 months ago, maybe 6, 7, 8 months ago. And yeah, I was planning on doing this as early as January or February, but just haven't. I've been really focused on my mental health actually, because I just was kind of burning out last year. And so I've been doing a lot of mindfulness, a lot of meditation. And I want to continue doing that and really bring mindfulness more into my work. But I'm realizing, rather than just doing this, like going away and retreating from society and meditating all day or something, like I want to like bring that more into my work and see if I can bring mindfulness to my activities as I'm working, and try to just be more efficient with my time, and really maybe do work more in public, get more feedback, and do that kind of thing. So I really think mindfulness is really powerful, and meditation is really useful, and I want to continue doing that. So that's another big theme in my life that I'll probably talk about more at some point. But it's kind of like this is really useful personally, but I want to also, like, one of the main reasons, or maybe the main reason, I want to do mindfulness and be more in a better mental health state is so that I can actually have more impact. That's really the focus of my life, doing as much good as I can. And so I'm really happy that I've been doing this. But I want to start doing more public-facing things and getting more feedback, which brings me to the next topic I wanted to mention briefly. Is I did an interview a coaching interview with 80,000 Hours, an organization that does career coaching, which was founded by Will McCaskill, and I believe I remember Toby Ord also helped with that organization, and then obviously Benjamin Todd is the CEO. I believe he was also a co-founder. I may be getting the details wrong here, but it's kind of this like very classic effective altruism organization that's focused on career advising and trying to get people into high impact careers. And so I've really respected and loved this organization and their content, their podcast, their website, their book. So many good pieces of content. They have a newsletter that's really, really great too, and shares a lot of good content. So they have a really fantastic team, and I was really privileged and really excited to be accepted for that by advising. So it was very exciting, and it's a fully free, paid for thing if you get in. And so I was focusing on this for like a few weeks, actually a couple weeks. Read their new version of their book, which I would recommend. You can get a free copy of it also if you go to their website and sign up for their newsletter, I believe. Basically the advice I got was to work more in public. I talked with what's his name? Sorry, blanking now. It's funny because I was just Carrick Flynn, he was kind of one of the main, he was like the person who really, I didn't actually know this until I was talking with him, and he said, I knew kind of a little bit of this history, but not really how he really was kind of the person who first started the AI governance field at the Future of Humanity Institute, and kind of took it from 0 to 1. He didn't really do a lot of the later work in the field or like build it up. According to him, there's a lot of people who kind of did that later stuff. But maybe the first 15 people working on it, he kind of really helped launch that. And the same thing with compute governance, AI compute governance in the U.S. and bringing that to the U.S. government. He was really the first person who helped to get this field up and running. So it's really was quite a serendipitous thing. He just started advising for 80,000 Hours a couple weeks ago, and very, very cool to be able to talk with him about all this stuff, and get his feedback that he thought I need to be more involved in the community, more getting feedback, more engaged. What else? He said it's important to be able to work with other people and kind of compromise and make sure that you're you may have your own vision of how things go. Again, I wrote this essay on deep reflection, and it's like, I know that's not like the only thing that matters, or like the only viewpoint that's necessarily going to be present here. And I want to very much support others like this Better Futures Fellowship, Will McCaskill's work, and things like that I am very excited for and very excited to have support with. And so, yeah, so that was another good tip. Um, yeah, I might should just look here. I have some notes on this. There's some really good stuff. Yeah, cheap tests, ways I can figure out if my thing actually makes sense. There are a number of different career paths that I had, including creating content, which I'm doing right now, even though this isn't really super high impact content, I don't think. But creating more podcasts and things, or writing more around the kinds of stuff I do and getting feedback that way through the EA forum, and more shorter pieces rather than my 150-page essay, which I still haven't actually finished and published yet. And let's see, what else do I have here? Yeah, finding ways to sort of humble myself and get a foot in the door, be less of kind of I can be a bit of an outsider sometimes. I like, figuring things out on my own, and can be quite introverted. Getting more involved was really critical for him, and he thought that might be another thing that would be useful for me. I think he was doing some administrative work or something at the Future of Humanity, and some really basic stuff. And then he ended up, again, helping launch this field of AI governance. Finding the right people, finding people who are already doing work that's adjacent to it is another thing that he mentioned. I'm not sure exactly what that would look like, but it probably has something to do with effective altruism, which is really a long-termism, maybe somewhat macro strategy as well, and people who are thinking about how to influence the long-term future and how to make it good, or just how to influence it all. But people are kind of in this sort of sphere. So these are things I learned, or that we discussed, and had me thinking about things. I thought about continuing my career in macro strategy research, which I've already been doing now for on and off over the past at least 6 years. There's a lot of options here that I could go for. The field building stuff that I talked about, like fellowship, there's other things along that path as well. Let's see, there's content creation, again, like writing, making podcasts, making videos, Dwarkesh kind of stuff, 80,000 hours kind of stuff, creating materials and content. And what am I forgetting? The intervention pipeline, creating a sort of charity entrepreneurship, launches global health and animal welfare interventions through their pipeline. They generate hundreds of interventions, hundreds of ideas of how they can kind of have an impact on these areas. And then they actually figure out which of these will be most impactful through this very systematic research process, where they narrow down these hundreds of ideas to just the top 5 ideas over a course of a couple months or whatever. And then they write out, they kind of go deeper and deeper at each level, and by the end they have this 2-year charity plan where it's based on this intervention. They have an entire charity that you can launch based on this, and then they actually do launch that charity through their incubator program, and they kind of have this very selective process where they work really hard to find good founders. So their acceptance rate for founders of a new charity is, I think, 1% of applicants that they get actually are accepted as founders. And then, they have these founders launch these very high-impact charities. And I want to do a very similar thing for the long-termist sort of better futures, flourishing future sort of space. And I think that could be really high impact because, it's crazy that we don't have anything like this in the long-termist space as we do in the global health and animal welfare spaces, because I think it's just such a cool idea. There is now the incubator of, what are they calling it? Surplus, which is Austin Chen, and that's pretty exciting. It is focused on both AI safety and flourishing futures, and is incubating software projects. So it's kind of a subset of these interventions, at least. And it is very much sort of the same model. And of course, there are lots of different fellowships and things that do various AI safety projects and launch things like that. It's just not quite this exact same model that charity entrepreneurship uses, which I would really like to test out and see if it works. So that's my other idea. And so we'll see what I end up going with here. I really feel pretty uncertain what I actually want to do. I was kind of set on doing the fellowship. I was like, this is the most low-hanging fruit. It's easy to do, and it just seems really important to have more talent in the field. and apparently this wasn't obvious enough, or like blatantly obvious enough idea, that it was like, yeah, like there were other people thinking the exact same thing and who have now are launching this, which is again quite nice. Kind of makes my job a bit easier, and yeah. But then now I have to figure out what I'm going to do instead, or if again, I could still launch another fellowship. It's certainly more than one AI safety fellowship in the world. There's a lot, and it just, is this still the highest impact project I can do, is what I need to figure out. Let's see, that's about all I had to talk about today. So yeah, I'm happy to be making this video, and will perhaps, I used to do these every 2 weeks. I haven't been as consistent lately, and again, it's kind of different because I'm actually making a public video, so it's just feels very different in a lot of ways. But I'm enjoying this, and yeah, let me know what you think, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you again soon, and I will talk to you all later.